world is confronted by a multiplicity of challenges that are occurring simultaneously. All of these are taking place within an environmental catastrophe that is looming large on the horizon.
Scientific networks are needed for meeting the global challenges of the future.
Without research and innovation, I don't think there is hope for development.
This is not the time for mimicry. This is the time to find innovative solutions, and the only way to do that is through collaborative research.
Because in science and technology, you cannot afford to work alone. Science globally is a worldwide affair.
Europe and Africa have had a long tradition of cooperation in research in many areas, and we believe that it's essential to continue and enhance this collaboration to tackle some issues which are not only of interest to Europe and to Africa, but also for the world, to make sure that good research doesn't just stay on the shelf or stay in scientific papers, but it's also implemented into real applications which will have a direct impact for citizens in Africa, in Europe, elsewhere.
We're at the new headquarters of the African Union, which is right in the center of Addis Ababa.
We are having the General Assembly of the CAAST-Net Plus. It brings together all the key stakeholders in the CAAST-Net Plus program.
It's very exciting for us to be here to see people engaging on issues in a very real African context.
CAAST-Net Plus now is a network of 25 partners, and each partner represents a national authority in science and technology.
So what CAAST-Net is seeking to do is to help Africa and Europe work together in finding those science and technology solutions which can make a difference for the benefit of both continents.
Collaboration is so much important. So this is really a big opportunity for Madagascar, which is faced with many problems, many challenges.
Thank you very much for being here, and welcome to the wonderful premises and facilities of the African Union Commission.
I mean, without abusing terminology, we could say it's almost a coalition of the willing.
If you put all that hats together, it becomes quite a powerful alliance.
The European Union is about to launch its major Horizon 2020 framework program for research and innovation.
The framework program really is about excellence. So it's African scientists involved in excellent research with European scientists.
African participation has been increasing through consecutive framework programs. We hope to see that continue.
Research into climate change, for example, research into food security, research into health, and a number of other major areas of equal importance both to Africa and Europe.
But it needs a coordinating body to ensure that it goes from research and research outputs into policy.
To bridge what we sometimes refer to as the innovation gap, it's very important to mobilize an alliance of all interested parties.
We're going to bring people together, to work together, to solve these big challenges.
My name is Chris Leonard. I'm a climatologist at the Climate Systems Analysis Group at the University of Cape Town. Our FE7 project is called CLIM Africa, and we want to know what is going to happen in a climate change context through the climate as well as agriculture, and then also the knock-on effects on the economy. The work that we do feeds back into the European centres. It helps them improve the models that they use. This is just an example to show the temperature change that we expect in Ouagadougou. It's around 38 degrees, but with climate change, so in maybe 30 to 40 years' time, it looks like that peak temperature in March is going all the way up to 40 degrees. We think that there's a very big risk of people maladapting to climate change because of very poor information that they receive. We've got to revisit the answers and revisit the questions over and over again so that we actually arrive at the correct mitigation strategy.
And that information is only of use if we can get it to those who make use of it.
Food security is such a big issue for Africa. Presently, there are 200 million people who are malnourished in Africa. They represent 27% of the global population in terms of food insecure people.
My name is Vakana Undi. Currently we are at Sabata town.
In the Food Security project, we are engaged in 4 of the work packages linked with 3 aspects. One is forecasting, one is determinants of food insecurity, and the other one is on policy issue. Ethiopia was and currently is food insecure. Every person do not have equal access to food.
ስሜ ተሰማ ጉት እባላለሁ። እድሜ 38 ዓመቴ።
People use traditional practices for so many years. The tools have not been changed throughout these thousands of years.
Eenyutu si barsiisee buna danfisuuf eenyutu si barsiisee?
Irbee.
በተሻሻለ ፋብሪካ ብንሰራ ከዚህ የበለጠ ልናገኝ እንችላለን ነበረ። ግን እኛ በተለምዶ የለመደችን ሀገራችንም ችግረኛ ስለሆነች በዚህ ነው። አሁን ችግር አንዳንዴ ዝናቡ ለጊዜ ስለማያቆራርጥ ብዙም ልናገኝ ለዘር በቃ እዚህ በዘር ሰዓት ትንሽ ስለምጓደልብን ምርቱም ይጓደላል ብለን እንጠራጠራለን። አሁን ወንድ 3 ሴት 3 ናቸው፣ 6 ልጆች ናቸው። 77 አሁን አስታውሳለሁ። እኔ ያን ትንሽ ጎረምሳ ነኝ። በዛን ሰዓት በጣም ራብ ነበር። ምን በዛን ሰዓት ገንዘብ የለም፣ እህል አለ። ግን እህል ውድነቱ 2.50 ነው፣ ነጭ ጤፍ የሚባለው በዚህ ሀገር ማለት ነው። ግን ገንዘብ የለም። በዛም ፍሮሽካ የተበላበት ስርዓት ነበር። በጣም አውቃለሁ። በጣም የሚያስፈራ ነው። እነዚህን እኔ ምን እቀልባቸዋለሁ የምልበት ሁኔታ ይሰማኛል። በዛን ሰዓት በጣም በቃ በራብ እኮ ሳይመጣ ያየን እየመትገባብን ልናልቅ ነው። ልጆቼ የት አደርሳለሁ? የት ወስዳለሁ? ኪስ ውስጥ አላደርገውም እያልኩ ነው። አሁን እንግዲህ በአቅማችን ደስ ይላል፣ በጣም ደስ ይለናል። ከልጆቼ ጋር ስበላ ደስ ይለኛል።
Having better access to food enhances the innovativeness of the people.
Africa has always been underperforming in terms of agricultural productivity. Europe has reached this limit, so there is what we call a yield gap. How do you bring the 2 knowledge bases together to contribute to sustainable food production?
Collaboration is very, very much important to do good research about how to solve those food insecurity situations.
I think to try and get people to actually acknowledge that these problems are shared because we're in a global system. It's not like we can stick our head out and say, all right, let's wait for it to get ready and then we'll come back in. That's not an option. You're building cooperation, not competition.
I'm Gerhard Balzel. I'm a clinician scientist working at Stellenbosch University, and I focus on tuberculosis. So we are part of an FC7 project that focuses on TB diabetes. And although it was discovered more than 100 years ago, it still causes a major health issue across the globe, which makes the management of this disease, especially in resource-limited settings, very difficult. So we have several research nurses based here, and they interview potential participants for our studies, and if they are suitable and they agree to participate, they undergo different tests to determine whether they have TB infection, whether they have diabetes, and to follow them during treatment. A third of the world's population is infected with this bacterium, which means that there are live bacteria in the lungs of people that could potentially lead to active disease should their immune system fail. And there are two major conditions that can lead to failure of the immune system. One is HIV infection and the other one is diabetes. The role of diabetes in leading to active tuberculosis has been not recognized until very recently. So where we are beginning to control the HIV epidemic, we are nowhere near controlling the diabetes epidemic, and this could become a significant additional factor in why we are failing to control and eradicate TB on this planet. So North-South collaborations are essential, and this research would not be possible without either the North or the South.
So we need ideas from Africa and Europe to solve problems in the two regions.
Africa has a huge amount of opportunities, largely because it's been left behind in other development surges. If enterprise is generated through which people can be absorbed into productive activities, we will build a better life for ourselves because we don't have all of these bad foundations that the rest of the world has to redress. The formation of the European Union gives Europe an opportunity to work collectively towards solutions. It's a brave new world for Europe.
There certainly benefits for both sides in conducting this cooperation.
These are very exciting times for science and technology cooperation between Africa and Europe.
Partnership and collaboration are not simply buzzwords, but ways that people are being.
This planet is for all of us. It has limited resources. Their utilization is extremely important.
There's a great deal that we can achieve when working between continents that we wouldn't necessarily achieve working on our own.
It's much better to have an equity around the world, and we should work to make a world that is globally better.
And CAAST-Net is part of this.